It's round 4, race 1 of the GT Creator Series, and we are at Daytona Road Course. My first qualifying lap is not the best in the world as I get a 133.143, but I am able to improve, and on my second one I get a 131.061, good enough for 5th place. And don't forget, you can catch me live on Twitch at twitch.tv/DeaconDo. I do not get the cleanest of starts here, and Playwright is able to gain a position on me right from the get-go. As we're coming into turn 1, I know we have cold tires, and I'm really trying hard not to push too hard. However, somebody gets into Chunky Ribena, who flies by me, and Mike gets into the back of me just a little bit, but no harm. We're all able to make it through the S's pretty safely. So we go into turn 2. I'm still trying to not push my tires too hard. I want to get them warmed up. And we see Kireth and Playwright get into each other just a little bit here coming out of turn 3. And as we're starting to come into the next turn, I am being extremely cautious. And not only do I get passed by Chunky, but Mike makes the pass, but he's not able to hold on to it. As we're getting ready to go onto the back straightaway, everybody's still racing fairly conservatively. There's not been any serious murders or dive bombs anywhere, and people are starting to get into the groove. As we are getting ready to come up on the bus stop for the first time, my goal here is not to push too hard if I'm coming into the bus stop. I want to kind of play it a little bit safe. If I have to, be behind somebody. And then as you can see here, use my overtake coming out of the bus stop to really get some speed on the front straightaway so that I can get up near 180 or 185 in this car on the front straightaway. I am in the draft here, or the slip, and I'm catching up to Kireth, but for a first lap, a cold lap, a 143 is not too bad. If you enjoy this video, please give me a like, and hey, while you're at it, go ahead and give me a subscribe here on YouTube. Thanks. As we go into turn 2 on lap 2, I know I am catching Kireth. I also know I have colder tires still, so I'm being cautious here. I know eventually with him being in the 23 Super Formula and me in the 19, I will have enough to pass him. So we look ahead, we see Graham Games gets really wide, and a few of us are able to pass him. I try to cut on the inside of Kireth, but lay off when we touch. Knowing that I have the faster car, I'm going to try to pass him on this turn right here if I can. And if I can't, as you're going to see here in a moment, I'm going to just check up because there's no reason for us to go too wide into the bus stop. I would much rather slow down like that, tuck in behind Kireth, and then just come out of the bus stop with as much as I have to pass him. Again, knowing that he's got the smaller car or the slower car, and here I hit my overtake to get up to speed just a little bit, and I know I can pass him on the outside. It takes most of the front straightaway, but I know eventually I'm able to pass him, but I have to take turn 1 wider. Kireth, not trusting me possibly, hits the brakes a lot sooner, and then I start to pull away from him as I do have the faster straight line car. As we come out of the bus stop on lap 3, I start to feel like I'm starting to come into my own with this car, but I soon realized, well, I couldn't say it much better than I did on stream.
All right, I need a catch Ribena and the leaders if I can.
So in order to do that, I need to start putting up 1 minute 30-second laps, not 131s or 132s. So it's time to try to get on that horse. And that is exactly what I'm able to do on the next lap, as I get a 130.869. I'm still a little off my pace, but I am starting to get into that groove. Will I have enough, though, to catch Chunky and the rest of the leaders? Time will tell. If we fast forward 4 laps to lap 9, we see there's a shakeup in the top 4 as Chunky Ribena has passed Playwright. A lap earlier in this exact turn right here, there was a bit of a racing incident, and you can see Playwright still a little shaken from that. I think he's pushing too hard. However, he and I did do quite a bit of practice together for this race, so I'm going to give him the respect, and hopefully he can get himself back underneath himself or compose himself. And I'm perfectly happy riding for a few laps behind him to save some fuel.
Yeah, I can't pit with Dream yet. I'm going to have to.
So I do pit in 5th position behind 2 of my practice teammates who are in 3rd and 4th, but we also see Kireth, who is in the 2023 Super Formula, does pit at the same time.
So I'm going to have to put a little bit less fuel than Playwright. I'm going to make sure I have 11 laps. What's going on, Blobby? We're stopping at 11. We'll put a touch more than 11, not much.
My thought process is that we're going to be able to go to lap 21, and so that extra lap of fuel would be important. However, there is a chance we may only run 20 laps, so it's a kind of a gamble here, and we will find out if that gamble pays off. The extra half a lap was just for using the rest of my overtake the rest of this race.
I should have actually stayed out one more lap, but that's all right.
After most of the pit stops have cycled through, I realize that I have lost a position in the pits, and I really can't figure out why. And then I realize Kireth passed 3 of us in the pits.
How did Kireth pass 3 of us in the pits? He had to have had a lot of extra fuel.
And while he had that extra fuel, time would tell if he had enough pace to stay ahead of Chunky, Playwright, and myself. But after most pit stops cycle through, I'm now in 6th place instead of 5th when I entered.
I'm guessing maybe the 23's got... Hey, Lexi, I'm guessing the 23 might have better fuel mileage? I got way too much gas in this sucker. I did my gas wrong.
And while I'm worrying about my gas, I realize I just ran my best lap of the race at a 1:30.716. Unfortunately, that's only the 2nd time this race I've run in the 1:30s, and I'm still at least 0.2 of a second to half a second off of some of my best times. As we can see, I'm starting to catch Playwright and Chunky a little bit, who are starting to have a little bit of a battle again. This is a battle that they had early in the race. I believe it was lap 8 or so. And if you look right here, Playwright's getting a little wide, I think a little squirrely. And as we go into turn 2 right here, he does go wide. Chunky goes underneath, and I'm right behind Playwright as we go down this straight here in the infield. Now, it's getting to be go time. I'm going to have to pass him. I have to figure out how, and then he goes wide into the grass. I have a pretty decent turn right here. In fact, I'm having another really good lap that I will end up with a 3rd straight 1:30 in. And now I just have to see if I can catch Chunky.
I didn't even see Playwright. I just saw him go wide. Did he go into the grass?
Yes, Deacon do. He did go into the grass. We've already covered that, but thanks for the input anyways. As we get ready to enter the back stretch on lap 20, we realize that we made a mistake in our pit strategy. When we made our pit stop, we may have taken just a bit too much fuel.
Yeah, but about a lap and a half. Too much fuel in this thing.
Before we end this video, I want to first thank you guys for watching till the end. Don't forget to give a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. I also want to thank Sir Racing, specifically Dream and Lurch, for mentoring me on both this track and Suzuka East, which is the second race of this round of the Creator Series. Video on that soon, but thank you, Sir Racing, and thank you, viewers, for watching.
This should help my standings quite a bit, though. Yep, so I put about a lap and a half too much fuel in it. I probably should have only put about 10 and a half. I put 11 and a half. So, I mean, I'll take it. I could have really have had fourth. Third would have been tough. I think the 23 probably gets better fuel mileage. And I think that's how Kireth got so far ahead of me in the pit stops. And that's just my 2 cents.